festivities here in Milwaukee. Dana White, the president of UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, was selected by President Trump to give the introduction, and he did not disappoint.
The Mike Gallagher Show.
It was quite a moment last night when Dana White from the UFC, will try it again here, kind of an amazing, we don't have, our system went down. That's not too bad. All week long, we haven't had too many glitches, but that was the first one. And Dana White told the story of how he was on vacation, like in another part of the world. And President Trump's team asked just a couple of weeks ago if he would provide the introduction for Trump's speech. And, they thought it was impossible. How am I going to get back from wherever I am, Australia, or I don't know even where he was. And Dana White said, no, I got to be there. I got to be there with my friend. I've got to share with the world how tough this guy is. The Donald Trump I know, the man who's been my friend for over 25 years, is the one that I want to share with you in introducing him. Here's Dana White giving the introduction.
Dana, I'm so honored that you will be doing the introduction at the National Republican Convention. Think of it as the biggest fight you ever had, a fight for our country and even the world. I only wish you didn't have to interrupt your family trip, but I hope they understand, they love you, and they know how important this is. Now think about this. This man's running for president of the United States. He's fighting for the future of this country, and he's concerned about interrupting my family trip. That's the President Trump that I know, a man who truly cares about people. The mainstream media likes to push the narrative that he doesn't care about anyone but himself. I absolutely know that's not the truth, because I've been friends with this guy for 25 years. And for the people who know me, they'll know this is true. I just want to make something very clear. Nobody in the Trump campaign has ever told me what to say. Nobody tells me what to say, and I'm nobody's puppet.
It was quite the night. It was an evening that was extraordinary, and I was so proud to be in the arena. I was so blessed to be with thousands and thousands of fellow Americans, patriots all, there cheering on President Trump, who made as dramatic an entrance at a political convention as one that America has ever seen. And I want to make sure you get a warning. I want to send a warning to anybody who might be swayed by any of the criticism that Trump got for his speech. Because look, it was clear. It was 28 minutes of recounting the assassination. We'll play some clips for you if you missed it last night. I don't think most people missed it, but we'll play a little bit of the clips. We aired it here on Salem News Channel and on many of these great radio stations around the country. It was 28 minutes of a very human experience, what it felt like to survive certain death. And he shared the details of that experience, saying, I'm only going to do it one time because it's so painful. I don't want to do it again. I don't want to ever say it again. And in fact, there was an emotional moment where President Trump honored Corey Compratore, the firefighter who lost his life shielding his wife and children as the bullets were flying. Here's what President Trump said about Corey.
I ask that we observe a moment of silence in honor of our friend Corey.
And of course, the room was hushed for a period of time as Trump bowed his head and then went on to display the firefighter gear that Corey wore, provided by his loving family to the convention. It was on a stand behind Trump, and he went over and embraced, there was the uniform and the firefighter helmet, and Trump leaned down and kissed the helmet, in such an emotional, stirring tribute to the man that, in my friend Seb Gorka's words, took a bullet for the president because he was evidently in the path directly between the shooter and President Trump on stage. It was emotional. It was astounding. It was inspirational. It was exciting. It was exuberant with the Democrats falling apart. It gives us even more reason for hope that we're going to win in November. And I want to warn you, if you hear anybody, particularly on our supposed side, if you hear conservative pundits who criticized Trump's speech last night, and incidentally, if you want to criticize it, that's okay. I mean, we're going to open up the phone lines here in a moment, and I want to be flooded with your calls and your reaction to what you saw and heard last night. But I'm going to tell you right now, if a pundit criticized Trump's speech, that's somebody who isn't on board with Trump to begin with. In fact, look at the body of work of us. Look, we know the left is going to mock the speech and attack the speech. They're going to criticize it because they have to. I'm talking about people on our side. I'm talking about people in conservative media who would be critical of Trump's speech for whatever reason they come up with. Don't trust them. Don't trust them. They don't like Trump to begin with, because for 28 minutes, it was a very different Donald Trump. And then for the rest of the speech, he outlined what he plans to do for America. He outlined what his message and his agenda will be for the United States of America. And I'm just going to warn you, pay no attention to the naysayers, because I was there. I hope you watched it. You and I know instinctively they don't know what they're talking about. But you do. Let's go to the Relief Factor Studios phone lines, 800-655-MIKE, 800-655-6453. It's 14 past the hour. We're diving in with your voice, your call, your perspective. Hey, let everybody else do the talking heads. The talking head I want is your call, your voice, your perspective here on the Mike Gallagher Show. What's your reaction to what you saw, heard, and experienced last night here in Milwaukee? Join us, 800-655-6453. I hope you join us. Seen on Salem News Channel. Speaking of SNC, go to snc.tv. If Biden steps down this weekend, as been reported, we'll carry it for you. I'll be anchoring long-form coverage on Salem News Channel in the event that happens. Now, the reporting is very mixed. There are news reports that say that the Biden campaign is insisting he's not going anywhere, that he's angry at all the top Democrats like Chuck Schumer and Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi who are urging him to step down, and he's digging his heels in. And people who know Joe Biden say that's classic Joe Biden. You're not going to tell him what to do. So that's the one side of it. I don't know how he survives. I can't imagine he can get through this. I don't believe he can resist. He's going to have to step down. They know they're not going to win with Joe Biden. They have to. But the question comes down to whether Biden knows it. And if Biden doesn't know it, maybe he won't go anywhere. I have to laugh. Joey and Robert and I are like hunkered down in our little booth here at Broadcast Row, Media Row they call it. They're tearing everything down around us because most people went home. But since I had to stay, I wanted to watch last night. I wanted to be in the room. So we decided to stay. They got forklifts all driving all around me. I am half convinced that the walls are literally going to start caving in on me live on the show. I mean, I'm hearing crashing and banging. And and Joey just asked Robert, would you lay down here on the carpet and make sure that none of the forklifts come over into our space, please, so that the none of the equipment gets compromised. Oh boy. All right. 24 before the hour. Let's get your take on the speech. An amazing night last night, an incredible convention. Lots of great feedback coming in on the MyPillow text line from Atlanta. This is a text from Atlanta. The RNC was perfect. Had everything from emotional, funny, patriotic. I laughed, I cheered, I cried. I couldn't stop watching. This is only the second convention I ever watched. The others were boring. The RNC was brilliant and invited everyone. It was a convention of love. If you have hate in your heart, you would not enjoy it in the least. What a great, great take from Atlanta. Thank you. From South Carolina, amazing night at the RNC. It all looked strong, focused, prepared. And as a fellow Republican, I'm more fired up than ever. And from Oklahoma comes a great text. Mike, I agree with everything you're saying about the convention. It is truth. I watched every night. After it was all over, David Muir, Martha Raddatz, and Lindsay Davis on ABC were hateful and mean and criticized Trump. I believe it was Lindsay Davis who stated he didn't even mention anything about policies. What? That's all he did. I couldn't believe she said that. Then they criticized him for mentioning Biden's name and said he agreed not to say anything about Biden. What in the world is that kind of analysis is that? There was a report, I think it was Brett Baer, who said that over at Fox that he wasn't going to mention Biden's name one time. Well, he mentioned Biden's name one time. Big deal. What did he do? Did he sign it in blood that he wasn't going to mention Biden's name? Was Lindsay Davis at ABC mad that Trump didn't comport with what Brett Baer thought was going to happen? These people are goofy. They're just goofy. Big deal. He barely mentioned Biden, so I mentioned him once. Is that some kind of transgression? I mean, that's how desperate they are. And that's how pitiful they are. Joe's in Phoenix, 22 before the hour. Joe, welcome to the final day of our RNC coverage in Milwaukee. How are you, sir?
Good, Mike. How you doing?
I'm great. Appreciate your call. What's up?
Speaking of goofy and playing off of what you just said about be wary of these people who are criticizing Trump today, well, I got a name for you. You probably know who it is. Mark Thiessen. I caught him in between your breaks on a Kill Me show, and he was kind of criticizing him. I was like, I wanted to go through the TV, the radio, and grab his neck.
So what did Mark? Now, Mark Thiessen is another conservative analyst. You know, he goes hot and cold. Some of these guys, I don't know. Is he? Maybe he is.
I listened to him for a while. He goes back. He plays a game, Mike. He plays a game. And they want to be critical. Then they're back to Trump when he's back. You know, they wanted him out. I think he was a big Nikki Haley person.
Oh, that could be. Well, and you know something? It doesn't matter because they can be critical and negative all they want. We saw with our own eyes. We heard with our own ears. And I was blessed and fortunate to be in that room. And I got to experience the joy of the thousands and thousands of people. And incidentally, there wasn't any seat available. The only seats that were open were the ones that were blocked behind the stage. It was a huge arena. Joey and I went kind of scrambling all throughout. I was on the floor. Seb and Katie Gorka were kind enough to share a couple of passes in a suite that was like a luxury suite that was behind the stage. Kind of, we couldn't see very well, so I went back out into the. Joey and I found a couple of seats kind of up above, off to the left side of the stage, and it was magnificent. I mean, I just wanted to sit there. I posted a lot of stuff on X because I'm having a great time on X. If you follow me at Radio Talker Mike, I'll do my best to follow everybody back today. I can't always do that. I try, but sometimes we get so many that come in at once. But I posted some pictures and videos from the floor. I took a picture. I was right in front of Tucker Carlson on the floor, as you would expect I would be, because you know how much I like Tucker. That was a lot of fun. The whole night was pretty magnificent. 800-655 Mike. Ralph in Greer, South Carolina. Hi, Ralph. Welcome to Milwaukee. How are you?
Hey, doing good. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet. You're glad you could join us.
Oh yeah, I had a criticism that I was calling in about, but you are so enthusiastic and upbeat. I feel guilty for saying anything about
Well, no,
it.
that's okay. No. Tell me what you think. Let me guess. Your criticism was the speech went a little too long.
Way too long. I tried to watch every night, but at work I have to get up and be at work at 7.
Yep.
So I held out as long as I could last night.
Yeah.
But
No, I understand that. I mean, have you ever seen a Trump rally before?
No, nothing. Well, I've never seen anything like last night. It was just
Right. No, but have you ever seen a regular Trump rally? See,
No, I
and so
have not.
and so and that to me is probably important, and I appreciate your candidness because if you've never seen a Trump rally, then what he did last night might have surprised you a little bit. This is why he always does it. He reads the script, he goes through the speech, and then he stops and then he riffs. And incidentally, he ad libs better than anybody. And I know about ad libbing. I've been a broadcaster for over 40 years. Ad libbing is a whole part of what I do, and it's part of what I did when I did a lot of TV work as well. He doesn't miss a beat. No stammering, no stumbling, no hiccups. Pretty amazing performance. But that's a Trump rally. He reads, he stops, he riffs, he makes some all kinds of off the cuff comments. Then he goes back to the script again. And again, Ralph, with all due respect, if you've never been to a Trump rally, that was a little bit of a new thing for you. And I totally get it. I totally get it. Glad you called, sir. Thanks. Mark in Brooklyn, New York. Mark, welcome to Milwaukee. How you doing?
Great. I just wanted to say that after this fantastic, really beautiful convention, I have to wonder, what's the Democrat convention going to be like? What are they going to do there? Are they just going to sit there tearing their hair out? Are they going to just sit there, trying to tear Trump down or trying to tear each other down? I can't imagine what's going to go on at that convention.
It's so amazing. It's so crazy you mentioned that. I was thinking about that driving into work today. I was thinking about that very same thing. How do they top this? How do they top the RNC? But you know what they'll do? They'll bring out all the Hollywood. Well, listen, if it's true, if the reporting is true, it's going to be a crap show because they're going to have an open convention and Kamala is going to be battling for the presidency, for the presidential nomination. I mean, if it's true that Biden is going to be talked into resigning and stepping down or stepping out of the race, and it's an open convention, he's not going to endorse her reportedly. So she's going to be fighting against 2 or 3 other Democrat nominees. They're mentioning Mark Kelly out of Arizona. Of course, you got Pete Buttigieg in the mix. Who knows who they're going to try to come up with, but it'll be a lot of drama, but there won't be any unity. There won't be any kind of enthusiastic unity like the Republicans had.
Yeah, I just feel a lot of anger coming out of that convention.
Well, that's all that they've got. That's all they're left with. Nothing but anger, nothing but rage, nothing but frustration. They're falling apart. I mean, we all know it. Ultimately, that's all the Democrats have right now is hatefulness, bitterness, and anger. And I don't know that that's going to get them to victory. I like our chances.